Who do we have online?
I am not sure. It just says a phone number. Oh, it's Amy.
Okay, today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. It's 2 p.m. We're in the CCFC meeting room, and this is the Special Events Committee meeting. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order and to verify a quorum by a roll call of attendance. I'll start during here. Deb Reed.
Myself, everyone.
And our management team.
Chris, Parks and Recs.
And Allison Iskowitz, the events and volunteer manager.
And Nikki too. And also we have Amy online.
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for calling in and thanks to our visitors in the back. Thanks for coming. Okay, at this time, we do have a form. At this time, are there any owners' comments? No owners' comments at this time, so we'll move on to adopt the agenda. At this time, I think that we're going to add an agenda item that we got after the fact, so I just would like to know, where would you like to put that?
We can talk about that first, because it shouldn't be too long. It's to go over the code of conduct again. I know that was something that was brought up. But Marco, if you wouldn't mind, I might piggyback off of you, if you wouldn't mind going through the code of conduct, because I know that was big on the board discussion, and then he can explain a little bit about why exactly over it.
Okay, so you want to enter that in now?
Yes, let's go ahead and do that first.
Otherwise, are there any other additions to the agenda at this time or changes? No. Okay, so we'll approve the agenda with the addition of the code of conduct. Would you like to do that now or you want to wait? Want to do it now?
Yeah, we could do it now.
Go ahead, Mark.
Also, addition from Cuba to remind us about the code of conduct. We had a situation that one of the members of the one committee posted something not right in the Facebook, so that created some animosity between the Parks and Rec committee and this specific person. So the Cuba board has to remind all of us members that we have a code of conduct. So to follow this, so they ask everybody to sign again, and that's it.
I know there's not really a line on there that was sent directly from the board, but if you wouldn't mind just signing on the blank spot at the bottom, that would be.
If they took their long you don't have time to read it now.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind doing that by next week or by the next,
Next meeting.
yes, next meeting.
Similar to we all signed the verbiage.
Yes, so,
Just a reminder,
Mhm.
it's some changes.
Oh, there are some changes.
There's some, I did adjustments, updates.
yes, the dates were all different. I know you had a couple of questions on some language that was in it as well, so it was brought back to look at. But it came back as saying that the verbiage was gonna stay the same. It was just the dates that were changed.
Okay, so rather than taking time now, unless you want to take time now and read it, would you rather just bring it back, sign it, and bring it back next time? Okay, sounds good. All right, that's
Just one quick question, just as I understand, sounds like some local person posted something on Facebook and then a committee member made a comment. Is that?
It's really just to protect you and the staff as well. I know that there has been a lot of animosity between maybe some residents and some staff interactions and things like that. It wasn't really pinpointed specifically at any specific committee. We were just doing it since all the other committees are revisiting it. We just wanted to ensure that we also revisit and make sure that we are all aware of what that code of conduct means as a committee.
So are we considered the consulting body?
Yes, that is what the committee is.
All right, moving on.
Agenda.
Oh, we did that.
Yeah, so just the approval.
Meeting minutes. May I first have a motion? Second,
I'll second.
and discussion.
There was, I found, these were just like little dumb typos,
Mhm.
things we wanted to just have, even those kind of things.
Sure.
Under E, father-daughter's dance, Sandy seconded the motion, it says second the motion, just little, those kind of things. I checked on another one that was accurate, so that was just some typo, a typo that I found.
Sorry.
Well, no, I know, I hate to be fixed, but.
No, I appreciate it.
Supposed to be, and if you start letting them slide, then before you know it, you have a lot of mistakes and people start noticing that, and it's just a reflection of everybody here, so.
Appreciate that.
I have a couple too. Some are, and I know when I was just, she said, should I bring it up? I said, listen, we've gone back and said, what did it say in the minutes? So it's really important. And I'm just going for clarification and okay, update, special events updates. B. Said Allison went over event maps for upcoming events and gate covers were ordered. Dory mentioned different ideas of new food truck prizes. She mentioned if Crow took them over, what could they look like? That they would look like. Is that Dory or is that Allison? And do we need that sentence?
No, I think that was mentioning about the monetary value of things like that. We can scratch.
The next one is, because I don't remember, not that we change, this is not a change, this is just, I don't remember this, so, which is not surprising. The second one, dueling pianos, management is to order grass for inside the salty and sweet snack, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that was like the gift basket grass.
Okay, I don't remember that, we may have sit by me when I was looking at something else.
It's too wordy.
No. There's nothing about it that's wrong or incorrect. My question is that a good idea to put grass in there? Because it ended up being the grass all over the grass. Can we eliminate that?
If that's what you all want.
What's being put in those baskets?
No, we discussed it.
I think that's the part of, so
Yeah,
that
that's
something to
right.
sit on, could have things stick up.
But my concern is it's gonna end up all over the ground. And I'm not saying to change this. This is not incorrect. But I just, when we get to that subject, would you just let's just think about that?
Sure. We did also get those little styrofoam circles so that we can stick the picks into. So if we want to eliminate that, that's okay.
It's just the grass.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If we want to eliminate that from the
Is that,
top.
guess who's picking it up? You know,
Mhm.
so don't change it. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just for camouflage to cover the bottom of the box because they fold in.
Well, we can get you, talk about it, just, I just don't want it to be something that we're gonna be responsible for cleaning necessarily. If you want it in there, fine. Talk about that. That was the only thing on that one, okay? On Puffs and Pints, I just want to clarify again. On the town tavern will be the only provider of alcohol, and we've agreed to have a beer garden or renaming it to Barks and Brews Bar. We're not doing that. We didn't vote on that. We're not.
No. That was just the example of a different name for the bar that we were discussing.
Okay, if you don't mind, could you put in there? The committee decided to stay with Puffs and Pints. Is that okay?
No, they're talking about for the bar
Oh,
specifically.
just the bar.
Yeah.
We did talk about picnic bar.
Right, because we were,
Is that, I'm not, again, I just want clarification.
Yeah.
To do it, because I don't want to show up and go,
because we're saying that last year, people were confused what the watering bowl was. They thought it was for dogs. So we were just looking at, even if we just add, we can keep a watering bowl, but we can add bar at the end of it or something. It was a watering bowl.
okay, so my question is, what, are we renaming it or are we not? I mean, is it?
Again. This was just a concept of it. If we want to discuss renaming it, we can. Or we can just say, add the word bar to the same name.
All right, I just didn't, I was just gonna say, if we were like renaming Pups and Pints. I would-
No. Yeah, just a bar.
If you go to most dog events, the bar, the pub, the beer garden, it has a cute little dog name. It's just that most people
Okay,
recognize.
when we get to that, can we talk about that again?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then another one for clarification for me, because I don't know if if this is correct or we're permitted to say this. So management is mentioning, this is under sub policy, mentioning adding new activities that we would charge for to gather more money for the nonprofit, but also to gain more revenue for CCS. I don't think we're allowed to gain money for CCS.
So when we had brought this up, the whole point of choosing the nonprofit, we are allowed to donate the proceeds. I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, what you're kind of going with that.
Okay, well, can we take out gather more money and say raise more money? And then can we take out, but also to give more revenue to CCS? Because any money that, my understanding in the past was if we were to raise any money and it's the CCS event, all of that goes back to CCS. So we're not raising it.
Right.
to CCS.
I see, yes, I see what you mean.
So if you could just say to raise more money for the nonprofit, period. Because it's a known, but we're not really gaining or supposed to gain or raise money for CPF. All right, now this one really important. Next one, father-daughter dance. The title, in the middle, the discussion on what type of entertainment you could have at the dance. This type of theme was brought up and the consensus was a DJ. I think it was the other way around. I think we said not a DJ, that we would have neither of those events should have a DJ.
We were, from what I understood, we were gathering more towards DJ, one for cost, but two, it was, we were saying what kind of music would a band perform?
See, I thought, I would never recommend a DJ for both those events. I think if you don't have a live jazz band and you don't have a live band for those girls, forget it. I think it's going to take away from both those events. Isn't that what we talked about?
I remember it more for the jazz type of event. Somebody, I think, remembered there was a DJ that did some Candyland kind of thing, but I know there wasn't a consensus that both would be a DJ. I think we just talked about it a lot and then said, let's come back to
Yeah,
it.
I don't remember making a decision.
Yeah,
I remember the talk of the DJ for the Candyland. I thought there was a band.
Well, yeah, this is for father-daughter specifically is what that was gearing towards,
Yes.
not for the other.
but it said fit two. I think the way I read this fit two events, so we were
Right.
talking about both of them in this paragraph. So I think somehow we just should change that there necessarily wasn't a consensus that we decided to discuss further.
Okay.
That's my thought.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I just want to make sure I think we have to revisit that. And just, I would just take, and the consensus was a DJ, just leave that off, just so we can talk more about it.
Sure.
Perfect, thank you. Then I think that, the only other thing, this is a little thing, where it says F, Holiday Fest. Alcoholic fest, can we put, I think down below, just put holiday fest, it's just a little thing. Where it says F, holiday fest, alcoholic and malt cocktail beverage, it sounds like we're having a alcoholic and beverage selection party. Just, if you could just knock it down 2 spaces, leave holiday fest
And then put alcohol, mocktail beverage selection.
below. It doesn't have to be involved either. Because you get what I'm saying. Okay, and I think, sorry, just, again, just little things, just wanted to make sure that. Sorry about that, but
Thank you.
next. Okay, so, we have a second and a first and a second motion to approve, we have, minor details. With those changes, are we all in favor?
Yes.
Amy? Amy? She's still there?
Sean, you?
Amy, if you have any other comments before we close this up? Are you muted?
She is muted. Yeah.
So all in favor? Thank you. Special events updates.
All right, we got quite a few. Lakeside Pool closure was approved by the board for Spooky Soiree, so it was approved to close that at 6 p.m. As far as father-daughter, the LED floors, I do want you to know that management is still actively working on this. We got a couple different proposals back. Most of them did say no because of the fact that it was outside, but there was 2 that came back saying, yes, this is doable. So still just kind of working through those. Founder's Day activities, we did book a rock climbing wall, a double slide, and a smaller bouncing slide for kids. We also booked 2 scenic artists that will actually, they pre-drew the overlook of Lake Ryanhard with downtown celebration in the back, and then residents can come stand to the back and the artist live sketch their backs facing, looking over the water. It's really beautiful. And that will be for free for the residents.
Free?
It's it's the same company that does the character artist for Pups and Pints. So they do it, yeah, for free. Yeah.
That's gonna be a long line.
And then we also are we're still working out the food options for founders that I'll bring up a little bit later when we discuss, but we also have a photo booth booked that's gonna have a 30th anniversary background to it. Food Truck Friday / movie night update. So I know I kind of put a little bit out there in email because I didn't want you all shocked when you showed up and kind of were confused on what was going on, but we are no longer affiliated with the food truck vendor. So from here out, Proa can now handle what that looks like for the future. So when we get there later on the agenda, we'll kind of talk about all that. But the next 2 movie nights, Eugene's company is actually going to be sponsoring the cost of the November and December movie nights. And then the last update that I have, we got new A-frame lights. So the same exact lights that Universal uses for their A-frames, we got the exact same ones. So it'll no longer be in the dark. So they clip right onto the boards and they shine down on the A-frame. So all the information will be nice and active on there.
Okay. On the truck Friday changes in the movie nights, you're gonna have the food trucks on movie night.
Correct. So we will have, we'll have up to 4 food trucks every movie night. This last one, and again, we'll kind of go over that when we get there in a second, but it did, obviously, the rain was back and forth, so we only had Stuffed Surfer that came out for that one, just due to the distance. So they actually live in Celebration. All the other trucks that we had were traveling and they just, the weather was so up and down, they didn't want to come on out here for that.
And just to clarify, so for the movie nights are gonna be, it's gonna be that one and 2 more, right?
Yes,
And
we
those
have
are gonna both be on movie night, Food Truck Friday night.
correct,
Just clarify that.
correct.
And how many food trucks will you have?
It's the max is gonna be 4. So, well, the good thing is the positive feedback that I did receive, because I reached out to those food trucks that we had booked. They prefer it this way because the last few, like I had mentioned, have not been doing well for them. So Celebration was getting a bad light for food trucks and they didn't want to come down here to do it anymore. But this way, if you have the 4, not only does it push and limit the options for them specifically, but it starts putting us back on the map. Now, again, later in the agenda, we will talk about what the future of the food truck looks like. So that this was just the fix for the end of the year. We can discuss what that looks like later.
Thank you.
All right. So reviewing the past events. So the Battle of the Food Trucks was on September 13th. So we actually had 1,100 people in attendance. It was popping. It was really nice to see it back up and running like that. So we put the DJ Bubbles, we did put them in the grass with the speakers. We do know that it started out a little bit rough because it was so loud. But we knew when you got all the way to the end of the 15th truck that you could not hear the music at all. So we were trying to figure the balance out. We ended up figuring it out, but again, once we discuss a little bit more later about what the future of food trucks looks like, we can kind of finalize what that looks like. But as far as the battle itself, it was pretty successful. The Home Expo was on September 20th. Much better than in attendance than previous years. So we had 862 people and last year there was 500. So I think the Kid Zone was a nice push. The craft was actually the most popular thing that we offered, not even so much the bounce house. So it ended up working out pretty good. The DJ brought giant like bubble wands to give out for kids. So that was a big hit as well. And then most of those vendors were reaching out about sponsorship information about wanting to be involved some more as well. So that was a good kind of segue there. Movie night that just happened on the 10th. We had about 112 in attendance. So it was rained out from the outside. Our team actually set everything up outside. It started downpouring. So we tore it down, moved it inside. And then we ended up moving it back outside, downpoured again. So we just called it and said, all right, we're just moving it on the inside. So we held it in Joan's room and we still played the movie. It was kind of nice because even though it got really crowded in Joan's, the Great Lawn ended up being kind of like a hangout meet and greet with other residents, and all other residents and their kids were just kind of playing together outside. So it was kind of fun to see that. The next movie night is going to be on November 21st, and we're going to be playing Wicked Part 1 to prep for Part 2 that comes out, I think, within that next week.
What was the date?
November 21st.
You guys, do the minutes, will you be sure to put in the 1,100,
Mhm.
that's really important.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
A Friday.
Is that the Friday of the week before you? Or next?
Yes. Any questions on any of the past events? Okay. So then we will move on to Spooky. This one should be pretty quick. I just really wanted to, anytime I have opportunity to run you through what the event is gonna look like when we don't have another committee meeting before then, I just wanted to make sure that I can at least show that to you. So this, right up here, this is the map for the event. This is actually going to be posted ahead of time on social media so that our residents don't feel overwhelmed once they get here and they go, what's going on everywhere? They'll actually be able to look at this and figure out and kind of plan their night accordingly as well. So, the check-in will have those 2 lanes. Those guest passes have already been selling pretty quickly right now. And then the week of Spooky Soiree, they'll have the opportunity to come in, actually get a physical Spooky Soiree guest ticket. So that way they're not taking up the side for people to purchase those guest tickets day of. Once they enter, the trick or treat bag stations will be immediately to the right. So there's going to be 2 different trick or treat stations and we have signage for both. Walgreens at Future Way has donated all of the candy to us. There's 21 boxes of candy, and then X Factor Dance also donated a bunch of bags of candy on top of that. So we are set with trick or treating. But new this year, we are doing the Teal Bucket Project. So for those of you that are not familiar with that, the Celebration Foundation is sponsoring that. For any, every single trick or treat stop that we have, we are going to have a teal blue pumpkin bucket that's going to be filled with allergy friendly and non-candy prizes. So those kiddos with the allergies can still participate just like everybody else. They're just gonna get a blue trick or treat bag. So that way our volunteers that are passing out the candy knows to put the non-candy in there. We are going to have 2 food trucks for this one. We have a pizza food truck and then Stuffed Surfer is coming back for this. We had an opportunity to actually speak with Stony, who owns Stuffed Surfer, and he's gonna create a fun, spooky themed food item for this event specifically. We're gonna have Scoops ice cream that she created a bunch of different Halloween spooky ice creams. And then right next to her, we'll have a cotton candy. This is a new vendor. They make those really big, intense cotton candy, fun designs. So she will be there spinning up the cotton candy. We are gonna have, the whole basketball court is going to be beyond the Brave Rave. So we're gonna have a DJ out there. It'll be DJ Bubbles. The face painting is gonna be out there as well. So it's bringing fog bubbles, lots of lights that are gonna go out there. And then X Factor Dance is going to be doing kind of like a Monster Mash pop-up dancing with the kids that are over there. We also have some fun giveaways with glow accessories and all that fun stuff. On the Great Lawn, the Celebration Town Tavern is sponsoring that tent. It's gonna be the alcohol tent. They're bringing a bunch of beers, wine, sangria. There's also going to be some non-alcoholic options as well. So NA beers, that's a new kind of, we're trying to be inclusive of here. And then we're gonna have a bunch of tables and chairs out on the lawn as well. The M80s band will be out on the lawn doing sets. They're also gonna be hosting that costume contest as well. So I accidentally skipped over that, but the costume contest sign up is also going to be right there, kind of next to the trick or treat stops. We're gonna have 4 different bounce houses. There's a giant slide, there's bouncies, there's pretty much everything that's all themed to spooky. And then at the end of the roundabout, we're going to have pop-up mini golf. So there's gonna be 9 holes that go around the entire back area. And then we're gonna pop up some Halloween inflatables to go in between as like photo ops and things like that. There's also 2 stilt walkers that'll be here that are gonna go around the event, as well as a balloon twisting artist. So lots of extra things that we threw in for the residents to enjoy. And then of course, the trick or treating will take place all throughout the event. We have volunteer positions open for that. And then I know Marco's soccer team is gonna assist with doing some of those as well.
What was the date on that?
It is Friday, October 24th.
Yeah.
The only thing I really wanted to talk to you all about is the prizes for the costume contests. I know that I had mentioned that the last time, but if there was like real specifics, I don't know what worked last year, or if you were like, we should just do the same thing. I wanted to leave it up for discussion for you all to decide what you wanted that to look like.
Are we having two, the children and adults, families? What's the thought on that? You know, do we have more than one prize basically? For the costume contest.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have children only, adults only, and then one time we did family.
Yeah.
We did.
Well, if we do that, we need to let people know, because you're gonna get arrested.
I'm sorry.
Thoughts. Do we have in the minutes anywhere how many we had signed
I
up?
like the 3 myself.
Huh?
I like the 3, the kids, the adults and the. Have you done it before? Yeah.
Of how many people that one wasn't, I mean, as far as the count sheet, it's just how many people showed up. I didn't see anything about how many people were in the,
Do you remember?
do you remember?
Last year,
Last year I was doing check-in, but the year before, yeah.
We did it together.
last year, we did not separate them. We just had them come up if they were kids, and then the next group could have been an adult, and the next group was.
I think we stayed that way because it was only,
Confusing, it was like too many.
it's hard enough to crown one lane on one street, so I'd say we keep one, we'll have, one, and they sign up either individual, adult, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then, well, that's the way we did it last year.
I don't see her, I just remember being there last year, but I didn't notice that. But didn't we have like the paddles with their numbers, because the year before, we had the guy announcing who they were, and it was off.
Yeah, that happens all.
So they had a paddle, I thought, with their number, so he could go to the number and be like, so if, 6 and 7 didn't show up.
You know, that
They
would
went to eat.
That was so, we did just.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying,
So they, you should have those someplace.
well, what I'm saying is, what's hard sometimes is getting them in numerical order. What I'm saying, if we took Carla's thought and we do the paddle, but they can just say that they come up for they first come, first serve, basically lineup. And then we have the list, we put the list like Susie is a spider, blah, blah, blah. Number, Susie's number 12. Look, Susie could be first.
Right.
Make it so much easier not to have them put them in numerical order, but yet you hand the thing to the MC and say,
Yeah, but it's hard if we give you 33, because I made one, it's like.
Beautiful thing, you know, what I mean? They need to be in order, it's just natural human nature.
We put wristbands on them as they checked in.
right.
And we numbered them one, and then that was on the paper, and they still got, we lined up.
I mean, or one year we had for rallies too, like 5 to 10, you know, 1 to 5, 5 to 10. And still people don't show up.
And still they don't show up. Yeah.
And then it's off. But I remember I thought we didn't have it, so it kind of made it go better next year.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could just get them to line up. And if we only have like 2 pages of, you know, if we have 2 pages with 50 people. And he just goes up and she shows number 12. And 12 says, he always looks at 12, says, here comes Susie the spider, you know what I mean? I'm just throwing this out.
Yeah. And I have not seen that, so that's why I'm just sitting here listening, because I'm not sure what was done last year, but is there a, like, are there themes for the costume contest, or is it just like all kids, it's whatever, kind of?
Yeah, here's the monster family, you know, I mean, you don't even have to use their name. But, you know, we have to have them down so that they can be in.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to figure out a string, trying to get them, okay, who's one, and 15's back there, they're just standing there, and I mean, so, but
Yeah.
it's time to line up, the corralling is important.
Yeah.
But I would say that if we had a big, if they, each one had a paddle with like a
Right.
sickle stick down here, and they just hold it.
Are we talking about those?
I don't know what happened to them. Probably, yes, we have.
I mean, that's easy to make, we can make those.
On the wrist,
Yeah.
we pre-numbered them, okay? I'm saying forget the wristband.
Mhm. And just the paddle.
Paddle, and then we would write paddle 1
Yeah.
through 25 is this is however we want to do that.
Okay.
And that's easy for the speaker to see.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's, because the year before, I remember trying to run over to the DJ going, no, that one's.
Exactly.
That's why it was like, wow, it was like one came out and.
Right.
It just made those.
So, and then does the committee man that booth and assist with
Yeah.
that? And then, I mean, you can have one of the staff just kind of check to make sure it's lined up and not just, you know what I mean?
We'd have the booth that you have the sign in,
Mhm.
and they would come up with their, and you'd say, Susie Smith, I'm a spider.
Mhm.
You know, Joey, I'm a caterpillar. And then you would leave the numbers on the wristband. We all done zip, but I'd say skip that.
I agree. They're easier to see the
You
panels.
could have like a nice big paddle, make it into a spider, whatever. They have to have that just to show the guy
Mhm.
who they are.
Yeah.
And they can line up anywhere. I think the people were like that. They were getting a little annoyed sometimes. They were like, back up. This one goes in here, back up again, this one goes.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I think that would work. Paddles are easier to see.
You're not gonna give them the paddle, take, they'll lose it.
Yeah.
They lose, they lose it.
I'm just telling you, you have to have the paddle to get in line.
So what I was saying is if you line it, if you want, you tell them they're number one, or you tell them how you want to tell them. And then you go physically, and you'll have to line them according to your list.
Well, and last year, we wrote everything down because the year before, we had write it down, we couldn't read it.
Yeah.
You could keep the wristbands and maybe that's just for us to see and be like, because we can organize as we see that. So I think they get wristbanded with the number. Then we hold on to the paddles, organize them, and right before they're going up there to present, we hand them their paddle with the corresponding.
Like on stage, that's where
Right, yes.
they can collect those, but also that's where they do participation day.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too.
Yeah,
So, okay, that works. So they get the wristband, we put the number and we will have, whether you pre-number them, the paddles.
Yeah.
So Susie the Spider will be number one, and then we have a paddle that's number one, and we put a number one on the wristband. So that when they're standing in line, you can give them their pad.
Mhm.
Now, what Debbie's talking about is we did, rather than having like these big ginormous gift baskets, we would do participation baggies, you know,
Okay.
so you can take, you have a ton of candy.
Mhm.
So that would be another thing we could work on. We could make up, I would say 50, at least 50. And then what we had left over, we handed them out into the audience. But my concern too is this. You have sometimes these little kids, so mommy has them over here, let them go across the stage. Oh, that was the other thing. You gotta put a big X on the stage, right? We didn't have, they didn't know where to go. Or a big circle or
Mhm.
something. Say, go to the circle, because then they take their picture and they go,
We
okay.
now have those big dots that we're using for Pups and Pines to go on the lawn. We can just put, because the kids are gonna look at the color anyway. It's not.
Stand in the other dog, start, takes a picture. Now afterwards, the person goes off. So you have a 5-year-old over here by themselves,
Right.
mommy and daddy over here. I didn't like that,
Mhm.
right? We didn't like that. I don't know what to do with that.
Unless when it's time for their kid to go up, it's either you say like, hey, they're about to go up, either send them that way or send them around to the front of the stage and maybe, because some kids may get scared. So maybe if they always have their eyes on their parent,
Should we?
it might be a little better.
Stage.
Yeah. Just have them say that.
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's encourage that when they're in the line. Yeah, Susie the Spider, number one's going there, say, go ahead, you can go for it. Just get Susie on the yellow dot or whatever it is. Okay?
Got it.
We're gonna start kids that like to do that, you know, but
Yes.
at least they know that that's what this.
Yeah.
And then I believe we gave them the participation bag after went across the stage. They got their bag, their participation bags handed out one at a time.
One time we gave it to them when they checked in, and it's better to give it to them after they go across the stage.
All right, thank you.
Gives them incentive to get.
And that's only because they all hover.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta keep them, yeah, they do have a tendency to hover and then
Yeah.
just push them out a little bit.
Okay.
And then we're back to, what are we going to give the prize for? Most original, most this, that, or just best of show? Top 3 best of show. Probably easiest.
I think I like that. I said we keep it as simple as possible, not split it up by age groups or all kinds of things, top 3.
And as far as, do we want to do something rather than the basket? Do you want to, putting a basket together and doing a decent basket is not cheap. However, we have candy. And you should show them our picture. That's insane. I mean, it's really amazing. But, do we do a gift card for somewhere like?
Right, I was talking about.
Well, the issue with having it region, giving the gift basket to a child opposed to an adult, opposed to a group, is kind of, you know, you can't give a 5-year-old coffee basket or whatever, you know, what I mean, like.
Do you think
just
there's
make
any
it
way?
Right.
Is there any way that like, down, the ice cream place, Killen's would do a $25 gift card? Would that be good?
I think so.
We can ask,
Anything.
right, we can ask and work on finding maybe some businesses that are willing to
Or
donate
just
something.
Right. That would be good.
Yeah, and then I think, and then if it's, you know, a 5-year-old, just so to say, that gets that first or whatnot, then we can use our best judgment, obviously, you know, we're not gonna give them one that they can't use. I was just-
It's happening.
Don't spend it all in one place, kid.
Keep them like the
Yeah.
the pizza place in Kilwins, pretty much anybody can go to.
Yeah, I think that's a good, or even the bakery place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. I think that's a good idea. Everybody in agreement?
I like that. Support local business, you know.
Okay. Anything else on this story that we need to discuss? Whoever wants to sign up for the soiree evening to volunteer.
Can we just call
Can
it?
we just tell them?
Yeah, just, you can just tell me.
Yeah, because the website, I told you, because it give kids the.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, I'll send you.
The hours for the spooky thing.
6 to 9.
Okay, so we'll just send an email to
Mhm.
you all. Okay, sounds great. And if you need help making up the paddle, or you can just buy it, would be nice. Do kind of big with a big. pop
Yeah.
thing. And then if you need, on the bags, let us know.
Mhm.
And, I think
Oh,
that's,
not the bags last year, stuff in those stupid
well,
hairs in them.
no, we don't be fly.
No, we can, we'll have plenty of candy.
There'd be, cellophane.
Mhm. Yeah. Little twisty kind of things.
Celebrating in Canadian Town Center.
No, but like I got
Clear.
it has and you put it like flyers.
You are doing those, but you don't need help with those, do you, for the gift bags that you're giving the kids when they check in? There's nothing in those, right?
Oh, correct. They will physically they're just grabbing their bags because they actually will go around and the volunteers will put the candy in the bags for the kids.
Each of the vendors in different
Mhm.
areas.
And then, yeah, and then we'll have some
Will
volunteers.
have baskets and they can just take the candy and put it in there.
We really want to give them the just in case, you know, maybe they're traveling or something on Halloween, I don't know. But it's to give that opportunity to do like literal physical trick or treating opportunity.
Right, very good. No.
There's no like actual vendors, no.
There's it's, team volunteers that are gonna have these bins.
Yep, and then like the Walgreens will have a bin that they'll probably be their first, you know, drop of the candy in there. And now that we have the staff to physically man the restock of the candy and all that good stuff, we'll be all right.
I'm in meeting. Can I go on that?
Perfect. So moving on to Founder's Day. So I know we had all discussed the idea of maybe the Kanoa businesses maybe coming on site to set up a tent to do little like appetizer size giveaways, because as we all know, Founder's Day is all about saying thank you to all the residents of the town and the community for letting us be a part of the last 30 years kind of thing. They are not 100% sold on that idea just due to what if, you know, Upper Crust comes as well as like Pesto Pizza. You're gonna have two of the same type of vendor, quote unquote, selling. So it's not completely off the table. We're still working with Kanoa on having that idea brought into life. But I wanted to have the backup option to discuss with you on what we might want to do instead. So I did reach out to Malia to see if they wanted to maybe cater and partner in that sense, but I did not receive a response from them. I also reached out to Cocktails Catering, the ones that did the appetizers for annual meeting, and asked them to not go over, you know, the food subsidy that we have for this event. I personally would love to use a business in town though, just because of the whole concept of Founder's Day, but I just wanted to put it out there and let you all kind of discuss and decide if there was a specific, you know, business in town, you're like, I think that would be great to have them, you know, we give them some money and then they give the food for free. I do kind of like that for the residents for free, but we would give them, yeah. It's almost like the food truck that we bought it out and then, yeah. So up to you.
Is there anything a point that be willing to do that?
There could be, yeah. I just wanted to gather ideas and feedback from you all. If there was one in particular where you were like, oh, I think this would be a great opportunity for that, or a specific type of food maybe that a business has that you think would go over well more so versus the other.
I just have, I finally pulled, I found my calendar on the phone, excited for me. My question is, sometimes Friday.
Yes, that is correct.
Which day, which weekend do we do Veterans Day? Is it that Saturday?
It's gonna be that Saturday.
Is that for
Mhm.
Saturday?
So the 8th, yeah.
I like the idea of using a local business and we give them money. And I mean, I think you have to keep it simple kind of foods, you know, burgers, piece of pizza.
But is that something you have to send it out to everybody? I mean,
No, I mean, this would be
you don't.
more of, yeah, we could. Again, this was the first idea was presented on, let's gather everybody. I just wanted to have a backup in case.
Okay. The part of the issue is not all of those folks out there are caterers. I mean, is it better to go with a actual catering company to do this? Because, for example, when we would have one restaurant and they would have like two different things, but if we're feeding them at that evening, do we want something that are like, you know, bite-sized items, or do you want a full-size dinner type thing that we did before with Premier, where you get, you know, I mean, is it's gonna be something they're gonna have to buy prepay? You know, are they gonna prepay for it? Are we just going to have it like we had that one year, we had the subs, we just gave away the sub type thing? I mean, those are the things we have to consider to make sure we have quality control and enough. If we're going to say we're going to feed you, we have to have enough for everybody. But oftentimes we prepay so we knew how much to get, because we didn't want too much, and then we didn't want not enough.
Right.
So,
I mean, my thought was just a point, because I think some of those businesses struggle a little more. So like, I mean, driving through there, you know, when you think of that big place, I don't think they're always busy. You know, and the Greek place I know has like family, like they have like big, you know, things that like families of like talk, you know. That's just like if we weren't gonna go with the sampling. Those were two that came to mind.
This is outdoors, where?
Yes, this is at Lakeside.
this is where we're having
The Motown Illusion.
That's the street, not.
That's what we're talking about, yeah.
So remember, back in the day, many years, we would say, you're gonna buy something that's gonna be $10, but it's really $18, but we cover part of the cost. Those are numbers that are made up, but, so there were years where we had the free, barbecue, when people would line up 100 along down to the
2,000 people.
2,000.
2,000, oh my gosh.
So people like free food, and two rows to get is the barbecue, you know, so that's kind of why we sort of stopped that, because then eventually you're gonna run out because that many people. And then you want it to be hot, and then you want it to be quality, then, you know, it's not, but yet, you know, there is something like Allison just said, is a give back, but we always sort of like the kids' dinner was $10, we'd only charge $5, you know, type things. So we have to determine how much do you want to give that night. I mean,
How much is the budget?
We had the free food truck.
It's 7.
7,000?
so the other thing is we're not we're not selling seats, it's all
Right.
open, come,
First come,
first served. If we did sent you out there to go and look at all these places, that's a lot of work too. And that's a lot of your time versus picking up the phone and saying, I'm not saying Premier, but picking up the phone. What about, what's that restaurant that was over by Champions Gate? What's the name of that?
Don't any of the local restaurants do catering?
Because they were very good. But
I mean, yeah,
I would
a
think.
few of them do.
so again, how many? And do we have to are we gonna part of the prepay is determine how many people are coming and tell the restaurant how much to make. But if we just, the one year that we had subs was sweet.
I know, just grabbing it.
Oh, like crazy, something simple like that. We do have this sub place up there that, what's it, Jersey?
Jersey
That's what, yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, do we do a combination of things?
Is it to promote our local places? That's the only thing.
No, it's Founder's Day, so we're saying, since it's Founder's Day, use something local, that's the thought. But if you go to each place, do we know the number last year we had? I
I
don't
do
know.
not. I
Maybe
could-
we could do have subs, have chicken fingers, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was, small, yeah.
Oh, like I. You can't be.
Well, yeah, they like to have, like, they could have things like, you know, the happy meals, like, that it's all in one thing, you can come and pick it, you know?
Yeah.
They might have things like that, or
Well-
could make that.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, that is something that we can investigate further with like some of these businesses to say, you know, this is kind of the idea. Is there any way that you want to be involved
Like, for
and set it up with them?
the Jersey Mike's, if you could get half a sandwich or bag of chips and a cookie in there, and then give away water or something like that. I mean, something, you don't have to do the whole meal. So now, if you want to do 3 different places, if you want to do that, and that, you know, you have your 10, you know, subs here, blah, 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 here, blah, 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 here. You know, and we have to determine, we can think about 800 people.
I think that's, I would aim towards the like maybe 800. I would rather have too much than not enough.
So we aim for 800 and then, you know,
I'm just saying that we have the food truck with the free hamburgers.
Yes, and that was stuff server. That was
And
a
you
few years
didn't
ago.
know that. You know, was a surprise, which wasn't really nice, but I think it controlled the amount of people.
Because some people ate before. Yeah,
I think keep it simple
yeah.
and keep it manageable, fresh, and, you know, something that the masses would like. Marco, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay, that one year we did Chick-fil-A at, the fields, and they had the whole box.
Yeah.
Everybody went crazy about that. We charged people.
Yeah, it's free over.
And we pre-order. But you got, by
Yeah.
doing 800 people and doing 3 different businesses,
Mhm.
I could have one business that everybody wants to go to and the other.
Yeah.
one.
Right.
You're going to, yeah. Choices keep choices.
Huh?
Chicken field,
Yeah,
even 30 minutes, you can talk to them.
yeah, well, we discussed about, we were talking about them for, doing boxing for father-daughter, which we think that would go over really well.
Yeah.
Our concern is that's 250, that they're big into the quality control. And like Chris mentioned, you know, if their fries are
Yeah.
5 minutes beyond the number, they won't.
It's only for 1.5 hours, you're right. They have a food control temperature.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yes.
We're gonna use it for this, we don't want to just have them in every.
That's why we do have a meeting with them in like 2 weeks, I think, to discuss father-daughter specifically. But that was the only reason I didn't bring up Chick-fil-A was just because I would hate to offer the same.
You know, I like about Chick-fil-A, because they just did it in the summer.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike's. One, we had Jersey Mike's.
Then he changed everything to the.
Just back and that was a lot. Jersey Mike's, so,
What's the one that they disappeared?
no, Jersey Mike's, we had, and what we did is we had the Jersey Mike's with the little tent with a little, like a jewel. We put it on basketball court,
Yeah.
nobody knew where the food was.
That's right.
And
I remember that. Yeah.
But I know this has been here, but the staff ended up with like hundreds. of
Yes.
and-
Location.
Yeah.
And this location.
It's all about location.
Right.
Even thinking about those were, they had different kinds.
Yeah.
And I believe the veggie was the one that was left over.
Yes, a lot of
For
them.
those people when first. And then I turned it over.
What about if when they check in with their ID, you give them a ticket
Mhm.
and then they use that ticket because then they get one box.
Right. That's what my thought, that's also a good quality control too, but it's also, you know, if you don't bring up the ticket, you can't get anything else, because you're gonna have people that want like 10 tickets.
3 different types or maybe a few of the veggie ones, you know, but
Right.
mostly the, you know, turkey and the other Italian, a turkey and Italian and maybe something and a veggie,
Right.
few veggies.
And would this be, again, is this gonna be something that we're giving, or is it, they're gonna, right, okay, we'll find that out first, because there could be the option, that helps if they do, even if it's like $5, only because that gives you a sense of how much of each item. But so to say, there's, you know, dairy allergies, there's gluten allergies, and so that will allow us to kind of tailor it to how many of each of those things, so.
Okay, sounds good. All right, can you find that out for us and then we'll follow on. By the way, I'm not going to be here that weekend. I helped because I'm going to a wedding out of town, so
They're out of time. I didn't realize it was Veterans Day too.
All right,
holiday concert.
holiday concert. So Chris did some research regarding like the ornaments that we had discussed. We did get this come back. Which we will go over this. This is just so that you can see what it would look like. We will go over this logo next in a minute, but it's just so visual. It is.
It's a flat, it's like,
It's like a macaroon.
It's the shape of a macaroon. Be by.
Yeah.
Book me a file or something.
It's like it's like a flattened ball. That way we can do the print without.
That's true.
So with this for holiday concert, one of these would be at each seat at the table versus having one of the items in the middle of the table.
Is it one side or does it on both sides?
I think it's one side.
Do you like that idea? Continue with that?
I think it's great. How much are they?
Do we have a date for the holiday?
December 18th.
It's a Thursday.
They are, I asked for a total of how much would 500 cost us? And 500 would cost us $951. And the minimum amount order for this is 250, so they give me a quote for 250 as well.
It's very cheap.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
less than $2.
That's very less than one.
And is it plastic?
Yeah, shatterproof ornament.
And we talked about maybe getting white mesh bags, so we'll have to work on those. And then put one in each with the drawstring. And then there'll be like, now some of them give it to you in boxes, so you have to.
Yeah.
If they do in the box, I would prefer not in the box and put them in those bags, I think, but it doesn't matter. If sometimes they do.
I was thinking that. I didn't ask if they would be individual boxes, but
We choose the box, they give us like 4 choices.
I mean, they're not fancy boxes by any means, but either way, if it's cheaper to get the bags, we can fill those bags. And it makes a nice presentation, I think. Thank you.
Now, we're gonna have one in each seat. What if someone sits down at a table, the other 2 seats are empty? They can change them.
Well, these are purchase tables.
Right.
So if you buy 6 top, you get 6. If you buy a 4 top, you get 4.
Okay.
All right?
Mhm.
I'm just in the extra leg.
No, that's a good
Why
point.
they may never see it.
That's a good point. I only just thought of that.
Okay.
And maybe not.
Sounded like you gave a lot. I looked at her and she said,
Yeah.
I did. But she agreed. Okay, moving on to the logo. The new logo.
All right, so I know that, I'm sure you all saw kind of some stuff going on social media regarding the 30th anniversary logo. So we went ahead and took that feedback. This, again, we want to make sure that we're, doing right by the residents as well. So this is what we came up with, which is actually technically what the residents came up with, since that was the exact feedback that was received with it. So we really just kept our logo exactly the same and put it in the center of the 0 and added the confetti so it looks fun. So I just wanted your feedback and your approval, because from there, then it will go straight to the board, CCS board, for final approval. So if anybody has,
Do I notice the circle part says celebration?
which part?
The circle.
Yeah, it's our exact logo.
Just the town seal.
Celebration.
Do I
Is that what that is?
Oh, down here?
can talk?
Yes, you make.
I do like a lot of the other things that we create from here. But we have a lot of bad mouth talking in the back porch, whatever. It's only 3 or 4 people
It was one nurse. She started.
talking something nonsense, and they have no clue because they are talking about things that is not in the logo. Why a e-bike on the logo? Why the boy or whatever? Well, you can see boy or girl, it's just a kid. Or you can say it's e-bike, there's no e-bike, it's just a thing. So because of that, we are changing everything. So I want to extend my compliments to the Parks and Rec and to the Nice Final meeting, because you two committees did a great job with the logo. And we are changing everything because of 2 or 3 bad months. I'm sorry about that.
That logo, by the way, is right on your shirt. Just staying or something.
Or still has a celebration underneath it.
Yes, this would be the whole logo as a whole.
Yes, as you see is as it is.
Because the smaller, not stand out.
but I think because we're using the legacy logo, it's, it's an anniversary of our legacy.
And just to confirm, this is only for the 1 year 30.
Right.
It's from this November till next November, and then this goes just kind of like the 25th one went, and we go right back to normal circle logo.
So this,
We do have Jim Siegel's online. His hand is raised. So Jim, if you would like to say anything.
Yes, first of all, my understanding was that the 30th anniversary was going to begin not in November, but rather next March. Is that true or not true?
That is not true. It's kind of like how Disney celebrates their big years in a whole year of a term. So we are starting this Founder's Day and then going for the whole year until next Founder's Day.
But the
Okay.
main one is next.
Correct.
And
The
is-
main one will be next year's.
Is there some sort of list of events or other kinds of activities that are going to surround this 30th anniversary besides Founder's Day?
Yes, so we are doing a kind of like a 30-30 event series. So we are doing 30 additional either new ideas, new events, new projects within events that have already happened, that are happening into next year. So we have a whole year to complete 30 additional before the 30th anniversary. So that is the concept of that. There is a calendar that we're currently working on. It is not 100% finalized just yet, but we will be talking about this idea at this Founder's Day to the residents.
Okay, a few of you attended a meeting with me a couple of months ago in Kathleen Scipio's office about a potential book that she was thinking about doing, and she's contacted me to come up with some ideas. And I've still been talking to her. I guess there was a problem with getting some funds for the upfront cost with the publisher, so I have volunteered to do that. And I understand that she is taking the recommendation for the book to her board on the 16th of this month, which I guess is just in a few days or so. So I just wanted to tell you about that and ask if you had any comments or questions about that possibility.
Not at this time. I think we need to wait until we hear kind of from Kathleen on what direction it's gone in at their meeting, if this has surpassed kind of PROA itself.
Right.
We're happy to give, once we figure out what's gone on, with hers, then if you need any kind of information or history or anything along those lines, we're happy to help out with that.
Okay, great. And who do I contact for that? Laurel or Lauren or somebody like that, or Nikki, or who?
Yes, if you just send an email to the town hall email, it'll get directed to who it pertains to. So that's
Okay.
townhall@sierramail.com.
Okay. Okay, great. And also, I just wanted to mention that you were asking about some volunteers earlier for a spooky soiree.
Yeah.
I would like to volunteer to take photos at that event and also at Founder's Day as well, and perhaps even at the holiday concert. So you can sign me up to do that on behalf of the Celebration News.
That's amazing. We appreciate that. I do have your email. So once this kind of wraps, I'll shoot you over an email.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So do
I'm
we
sorry,
need
what
to-
again?
Go ahead. Say-
Go ahead.
Jim, did you have something else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need to vote on this?
This logo, yes.
Well, I just want to say, I agree, it's tough with what Mark Rose said and you all updating it, but I especially want to say I love the confetti.
That was my one contribution. I said put confetti behind it. The girls did everything else.
It looks fun. Yeah.
Great. All right, so all in. Amy, are you still on?
Her call dropped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need a first and a second first.
Okay, we're make a motion to approve the updated version of the 30th anniversary logo. May we have first? May I make a motion? Motion to second? Any other comments? No, all in favor? That's a big decision. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Wait for the calls on the backboard.
We took exactly their feedback, so. Okay. Puffs and pints. So like we had discussed, we were gonna go through. And can you mute yourself there? So we went through, I took all of the ones that you guys had spoken about or anybody had mentioned from the previous meeting. I just put this together so that way we can just kind of visually see it. This is not a definite list. If there's others that you have brought today that we would like to add to this list, I just want to be able to kind of narrow it down to our top 3, because once we give our recommendation, that's going to the board as well, because they will have the final decision on the actual nonprofit that we choose. Just keep in mind, again, this does have to be outside of Celebration. But I put together the mission statements from their websites, the actual websites. And then we did have a meeting with Susan, who's doing the beer for Puffs and Pints. And she is also willing to work with us in the sense of whether it's selling a product, and if you buy the product, all those proceeds go to that as well, or every dollar of all of the beer sales will go towards the nonprofit. So she's also willing to work with it in that way as well. So just wanted to gain some feedback on any of these, or if you brought any additional, and then we can vote on first, second, and third for.
Going to narrow it to one profit.
We'll narrow it to 3 and then allow the CCS board to choose from those 3 that we recommend.
Money will go to one.
Correct.
My question is, you want us to narrow it down? I sort of like, think what she was doing is like, do we vote on, use these, vote AJ? Or would you like us to have a consensus from this group of 3?
I would like to have just a consensus of the 3, just so that we can have, an equal front going to the board.
All right, so, I'm like to make a motion that we, select, one of the dog nonprofits. You have a second,
Well, you want 3 to
right?
The top 3.
So,
I'll make a motion, we have a second. Okay, open for discussion.
well, I have brought some of these based on feedback. I know we're not allowed to pick a celebration company and none of these are. I think it's important that we still support local, like Osceola County. So obviously we're in Osceola County, so I think that should be one of them. I've heard great things about Polk County and Pet Rescue by Judy as well, so those would be my 3 that I would recommend.
And I feel like the first one's getting already benefits from another, so,
That's a great point.
I think we should help somebody that isn't already getting money from another.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very, very good point. Sandy, do you have any thoughts?
Not totally, because I'm really not a pet owner. I just wonder how we're eliminating if there's something in celebration. Well, I don't know if we have one, so
Right.
why would we not?
Not a non.
We don't have one that's dedicated.
Oh, but no, no.
Right.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, like, that's always from like Paul Academy, who I
Mhm.
work a lot with, so.
And some of them are like the doggy boss, the dog walkers, the pet trainers, but these are actually nonprofits.
Yeah.
Okay, did you submit your letter by any chance?
To you.
Oh, just to me?
Who said that? So I gave it to you.
Okay.
I'm not sure I should want you to have that, with this.
Rescue by Judy.
Right, so with those thoughts, all those thoughts, I'd rather not say the names on here, but number 1, for example, good point, Carla. Number 2, 3, and 4, good point. So I'm in agreement with those 3. You already have them checked off. With those in a state, number 2,
Where
3, and
is-
4.
The 2 degrees of that rescue by June.
Danford.
But we know, you heard the story.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I'll submit that, your letter was very good, which I would like you to submit that to.
I will. Yeah.
Every picture of the dog. with-
I have. And
Don't forget the picture.
so I think Sandy and I are good with what you submitted here on with 2, 3, and 4.
Perfect.
So there you go.
So finally, we reached our last one. The Food Truck Fridays. So this is really our opportunity to now kind of mold what we want this to look like for 2026. We could do, now these are just things to throw out there. If you come up with something else, obviously let's talk about it, but it could be we saw how successful the battles were. It could be something where maybe we do 1 a quarter of just food truck battles. And that would mean we would do pretty much 4 a year. Or we stick to the once a month and we do, or we move, you know, food trucks to Saturdays and see, but that like, there's a lot of opportunity here, but if you do the, you know, the food truck battles specifically, we were discussing it would be kind of nice to have maybe like a monetary value attached to the trucks that would get their interest to be here, but also to compete, because usually they just get a plaque, and how many plaques can you collect?
But you explained that we're going independent.
Yes, yes. So we are no longer with the vendor of the food trucks that we were having. So Proa will now be taking over those food truck events.
Is it financially, so it's cheaper way of doing, or?
So it actually benefits Croa just because of the fact that we were losing a lot of money every single food truck. Between the entertainment that we were essentially getting a check for not covering our costs for what the entertainment costs. So that would mean we would be in a deficit essentially. So if we do it this way, where it's either just maybe the battles, we would utilize the money that we would essentially spend on entertainment, but we would gear towards the truck draw instead. Now, we, as you know, we can stand out with we've got the speakers, you know, we can make those playlists if we really wanted to. We can announce it over the microphone. That eliminates kind of that aspect of it. You know, we can still have the music and the atmosphere, but we just use that money to draw those trucks to want to be here.
And so we could finish out the year as we are with the two movies. And then we could ponder this momentarily till next for a month, think about it, but then come, she said, next year, try to determine, is every week too much? Should we do the quarters, and should we do Saturdays and do the battles, and then put a like you know, like a $500, say $500, and then they would like maybe supply something, or you could vote and one of those trucks would get that. Now, that may be enough interest to draw more than 4 to say, we want to come, we want to come. If you're going to do that, you know, we could do that.
Well, if fewer trucks you have, fewer customers you have coming. I would not bother to come down if I knew there's only 4 trucks.
Okay.
And a lot of people have said to me, Sandy, we're not gonna have 2 truck Fridays anymore. It's only once a month, but a lot of people love it. And I'm not sure if it makes sense to change it to Saturday, the 2 things happen. But, I think it's a self-fulfilling thing. If the fewer trucks you have, the fewer customers, the trucks don't want to be here. So, and that's what we did to ourselves when we moved it out to the far east.
What's the minimum? And what would you say is the minimum number to,
I'm sorry, say it again.
the minimum number of trucks you think?
Well, what did we used to have? At least 15.
It was supposed to be 12 to 14.
Oh, okay. 12 to 14.
Do we pay for the trucks? Do the trucks pay to be here? How does it work?
Like previously, or what we would do.
What do we do?
Like, how would it work?
So we actually spoke with Sony, who's the owner of Stuff Surfer, to kind of get that background information, you know, that we're not just gonna come in here and throw a number out there. So he was saying a lot, which he said 90% of people that put on food truck events, they'll do a percentage, which it's, you know, for the sales, they have to show their POS system of the receipt of what they made from the day. And then we would take 10% of what their earnings were, instead of charging the flat fee out there, because he was mentioning that's really hard sometimes, especially when it was, you know, 12 to 14 trucks and they weren't even making what they made to pay to be there. So that is one option that we could do, or we could do, you know, it is a flat fee, maybe it's a little lower, or we charge a deposit and say, you know, $50 a truck, or just a number thrown out there to make sure that they show up, because that was a concern as well when we say, okay, well, what if we advertise that you're going to be here, but we don't get any money until after they're done, and then they just don't show, and now we look bad. So we could do where it is some sort of a deposit. So either way, whether they show or not, at least we do make some revenue.
It's positive, and I do like point of sales, because I was sitting there, and I did see a couple of trucks with like nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's frustrating, because then you have the trucks with the long line.
Right.
So at least if they show up and they've only paid like $50 to get a few businesses, they're still making something.
Right.
But what about the difference between every Friday, I mean, once a month, 12 versus 4? And we had 1,100 people show up for how many trucks? 16 last time?
14.
14 trucks. So what Sandy's saying is the more the show, the more you have,
15.
the more you have, the more people maybe come. And so, Mark, are you gonna leave? You're gonna come back, Mark, I need you to, how soon?
I can't see you.
I want to get your opinion. Okay. So I think we have to figure out a balance between 12 or 4.
I have a question. Have we ever surveyed the residents?
Yes.
I mean, I know this is an open, open to everybody. Do we do know what the residents? Because monthly to me seems like a lot. So it seems like attendance is going down, down, down.
Yeah.
So maybe it was too much. So that's just my new first of the town feedback, but I don't want to speak for Celebration because I don't know if we've ever surveyed everybody.
During the events, we do survey the residents and we ask, hey, what do you like, what do you not like?
What do they?
And they were saying that, yeah, if we have it every month, it's kind of, and maybe we'll show up, maybe we won't, because it's not special. It's just whatever. If I miss it this time, all I have to do is come back 30 days and it's here again. So I pitched my own idea and I said, well, what if you did it quarterly and did a whole food truck rally and how it works? They said, oh, all of a sudden they perk up and I said,
Yeah.
so I got that reaction from everybody.
I think too, like if you had a Cousin's lobster food truck, I would go.
Mhm.
The lobster guy who came here was a nightmare.
And that's the good part about us. We can select who those trucks are.
Right.
It's not up to somebody else to do that. So that's a great point as well.
I mean, when Cousin's lobster food truck has a following that they post it, that they're gonna be in Orange County in this place and this place, and people go because of that. And they being in New England, I would like a genuine New England lobster.
I think quarterly too, then you'll have some leverage with the food trucks because it's not like you're trying to get them here 12.
And you can prearrange that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just Celebration because, we have tickets to, soccer and it always had tons of food trucks there before the game. And they are now down to 2 food trucks and people don't even stand in line for them. And even though last weekend was, Latin night or whatever, so they had 2 food trucks and they both were tacos and people were just going, but if you don't like tacos, what are you gonna get? And so it isn't just Celebration.
Yeah.
Food trucks, if you think about it, if people on food trucks go across the street, 192, they got them every day.
Right.
Yeah, so.
It almost has to be in,
And
It's gotta be something special.
food trucks are expensive.
Yeah.
And you get the feeling that you want to sample.
Yeah.
And they're so expensive, you can't see them.
Right.
and I think that's part of what the.
And that could be too, something that we can talk to the trucks too and say, would it be possible to, make one menu item that costs $3 for a small sample? And that's what maybe, everybody can try.
They get different, when you might be more like,
Right.
And I think that's, those, both of those, that may be why that is, you know what I mean? It's private, that's why it's diminishing the
you think
interest.
you're getting food from a food truck, it should be less expensive.
Right. And the other thing is, it's that if we were, let's say we did the battle thing, let's say we decided that the once a month just isn't making it anymore. But if they're providing a service for us, so why don't we charge them $250? Like,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
get a minimum to be here and then let them make the rent because they're providing
Right.
entertainment for us
Then what you do.
or nothing. I mean,
They have to get a deposit
Mhm.
and then charge 10%, just withdraw the deposit.
Right.
From the 10% when it's done.
Mhm.
You know,
it's we have to charge them, but not to charge them because they're providing entertainment for our event. Why would we like make it so that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally understand
So
that.
I think about this, maybe revisit this and talk more about it. People network with other people and.
Yeah.
People pay, really.
Well, they're paying what it used to be.
Yeah, so they were paying $158
Just to show up.
just to show up and not be guaranteed sale.
Plus a portion of their profits or no.
No, yeah, it was just, and those wouldn't go to us, that went to the vendor.
I think, yes, and I still say if they're providing a service to us, why are they having to pay us when we need them
Mhm.
for this, to make this event
Right.
successful? So if you say, hey, we're gonna have a competition and there is no charge. Now, if you want to, do a nominal, it's like
Right.
$50.
A show up charge.
Yeah.
Um,
And then say, oh, by the way, you have the opportunity to win a $500 or $300 or $200,
mhm.
blah, blah, blah. I think you would get the primos, the ones you want, then you can pick and choose.
Right.
You pick it up, and then you pick and choose.
Yeah, and Stoney had a good point as well, where he said, we don't just want to take any food truck that walk, you know what I mean? Because who knows what, what they serve or anything along those lines.
Mainly, except I think you would hear, that officer, I ordered from him and I stood there and that truck was so dirty. And then apparently at one later, he came and they didn't leave because it's dirty.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen that all through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have regulations, and you can see the ones that were really,
Mhm.
pizza one, the Brazilian one at the end, American hamburger one, like, there's definitely ones that generate a reservoir.
Yeah.
And I think too that with what Debbie said and Carla said, as far as the rhyme and the reason is they're not going, is it too expensive? And that's why, but if we had something that when we did our competition, as you both have said, we tie it to something we're doing, whether it's a movie night or
Right.
something to draw, get a little bit of a draw
Mhm.
so that people will buy. What's it gonna
Yeah.
be?
And they have children's
Right.
option for these trucks because, paying $15 for a children's meal, $25 for a children's meal, they're not gonna eat.
Right. And it's also a good opportunity too, to actually have the residents or the guests vote on everything. I think we had discussed that it was almost like a slap in the face when the judges were brought there and they were eating all this free food that they got to choose. And it just did not look good.
Yeah.
So if we did it this way, where it's like, really everybody gets a sample, for the $3 from each truck or whatever it may be, then it's up to really them to vote who gets best dessert, who gets best entree. And I don't think we need a runner-up or anything.
I think too, we have like this, the buckets are.
Yes.
Not necessarily visible, but at least the cards that they could put in. and
Oh, yeah, we could.
We give us some tickets, yeah.
We're not feeding them some judges, we don't know who they are.
Right.
You should have seen the food they were eating, I was sitting.
Yeah.
Well, the tent we had across from them, after they ate their food, figure out who they wanted to give the award to, and they broke up and they just went home.
Yeah,
We were running the People's Choice Award
Yeah.
tent, and that was very popular. Couples were coming up, the husband ordered one thing, the wife ordered the other thing, and they shared it. And they're like, oh, we can both vote. Do. We had, what were the numbers on that? They were high.
Yeah, see, that's perfect.
That was perfect.
It's
It was such a
perfect.
clean
But
way
I
to
think
do.
you wanted samples.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you could want to treat both of those things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
each truck could have a signature item that they want to judge.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they do on the TV.
Yeah, right.
Signature. But anyhow, I mean, that's, again, I think that, I think these are all ideas, and I think we put them all together and we try it and see how it goes.
You never know unless
So
you try.
come here and then come whatever month you want to start it in. I think
And
that's
I
great.
don't think originally we had formal entertainment. It was just some movie that's up on the screen by you
Mhm.
guys. Just if the kids wanted to go watch a movie.
Right.
It was not formal entertainment that we paid for. As a-
Yeah.
So unless, as you say, we're doing it during some other event,
We tie it to
fine,
something.
then
Yeah.
there's a reason.
And it could be something else even going on downtown. We'd have to get.
Depending on the season, we could change it up.
Yes, yes, perfect, like football,
Spring, summer, fall, winter. Yeah.
yeah, Super Bowl, which brings me to the next. Are we done with that? Can we go? Okay, I want to know, is it okay since I say that I did talk to him about what I asked you guys about, but I guess statistic.
I love that. Yeah.
I wonder if this would be okay, because this is, an area that Marco, I threw it out to him just to see too, but the FIFA, is that how you say it? FIFA or FIFA? FIFA World Cup is 2020, held between June 11th and the 19th. I'll let him go into more of it, but it's hosted in Canada, Mexico, but the United States, they're held every year. This is the first time, I don't know if he can tell that, but every 4 years. I looked up and tickets are over $30,000. And most of them are sold out. You can buy like 2 tickets here, 2 tickets here. They go between 2,000 and over 30,000. I mean, I saw it higher than that. The first time that there's been 48 teams. The final was on July 19th. The highest attendance that they had was 137,000, but attendance plus spectators have been 3.5 million people. 5 billion were engaged in the 2022 in Qatar. An estimated final match will be viewed by 1.5 billion people. It's a very colorful event. They get a gold thing, and then you can get life-size soccer balls. So,
Well, I want to just interject before, because this is probably where you're going, but I've been in Europe during World Cup, and every town has the event outside, the big festival, and it's very fun. Maybe that's what you're talking about, that would be a great.
so is it okay if we move just a little discussion?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Marco. What's your thought?
Yeah, they need to have like a bring kids and adults or can go like a soccer for fun. You open the field, I can install the fields, I can bring them in jerseys, whatever, kids, small enough for the kids. And then we talked briefly, this was a great idea from Dory. So maybe we can put like a screen, big screen and have.
Jumbotron?
Like, you can join like 2 or 3 events in one time, like a movie night or soccer, and do one United States game. We can pick a day for United States. Usually all around the world, it's a holiday. When your country is playing, they stop the whole country to watch the game. But it's more normal for America and Europe, not that normal in the United States. They don't care that much for soccer, but it's like much more important than Super Bowl. For us, it's like something to say.
Yeah.
For us, Brazilians, for people who love soccer. So the idea is to have this kind of event, maybe 1 or 2 days, or every time that the city is playing, just come to the fields, and a big screen here, popcorns, organize the games, and.
So I love that you brought that up today, because yesterday I had a meeting with another resident that just moved here. She's retired from doing events and she just wanted to be involved. And she said the same thing you said, where she said, you guys should do a FIFA show, like party and a Super Bowl party, because we were talking a lot about like diversity, inclusivity and all that good stuff. And I thought that was a brilliant idea.
Well, Chris, you brought that up too about we could do the trial run for the Super Bowl in February.
That's February. Yeah.
And it'd give us an idea, be able to work out the kinks and whatever on it towards June and July. But I agree, that's what I said. I remember being at someplace else and the streets were like you said, lined with TV screens. But I just think it'd be it's part of your 30th, right? And if we could have a couple of those, I think if we can get a sponsor for what do you call it?
Jumbotron.
Whether we have it right out here, and I don't know if they're held during the day or at night or both.
We can double check because they schedule the right set.
Yes.
We're doing
Nice.
nice.
Or
When they're the board.
We're just waiting for 2 or 3 more teams to get in. It's more for Central Asia, like Lebanon, and they're still fighting for one position. But within a couple of days, you can have the whole schedule for the game. But the United States, I believe, is all set. I know there's some games from Brazil here as well in Miami. we don't have, unfortunately, we couldn't bring the games to Orlando. We tried our best, but it was impossible between Tennessee, Vancouver, and everybody else in Miami, so we lost for them.
But the finals are in New York.
The finals will be New York and have good games in Canada and Nashville as well. But bringing this event over here would be like a lot of people.
I think it'll be a different crowd for Super Bowl than.
Yes.
So that's, my only thing is it would be hard to compare what one versus the other.
No, right. It, basically, I guess they got one more hard.
Yeah.
It's more friendly because we are not rival rivals, we don't compete each other here watching.
Right.
Even the Super Bowl, like kill you.
Oh, yes, Paige.
So it gave more sense of like United States against Arabian, against Pakistan, against Brazil, whatever. It's more friendly, more like some nice game and that's it.
But we could maybe strategically, with your help, strategically pick certain dates.
Mhm.
You know, whether we do 2 or 3 or whatever, 1 or whatever. I think I love the fact that it's so colorful. It's inclusive of so many different countries.
If you have opportunity to
And
watch the open, the very first open, like with the opening for the World Cup,
Right.
it's like Super Bowl.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, I mean, like, my sons will wake up to watch games, you know,
Okay.
7 in the morning, whatever.
If I'm not wrong, then we should do a similar event, way like time ago. So she can contribute, yeah. Then we, like,
They had a what?
then we need to do some soccer events for youth as well. They can drive us and help to do this event.
You're just been nominated. Yeah, and I mean, it would be cool to get some of these little fake, and we, by the way, I would say if we're going to do it, get this sooner than later, because I think that stuff's gonna be like,
I agree.
that's like the father daughter.
You can do for profit, no profit, you can charge money here to go.
We could charge people.
They okay.
You gotta get the license. I think you're buying.
Yes, either way, you have to.
Well, Celebration Soccer Club have a license to do events here. We have,
You got the license?
we have license. Not for food, but for events and sports events.
For the.
For sports events.
All right, so we're gonna move forward on that, and then. Okay, so then just one real quick thing, so we're still having in our mind that they ordered those little boxes and I figured a way to put fairy lights on so you can't see it, so you can throw it in the air or whatever. But we were looking about trying to figure out a way to do the Candyland thing like that, but in the brief discussion, we said that almost anything we come up with for steps is going to be dangerous, so we thought they're gonna look into like this, instead of having stepping stone Candyland, it'll be the tablecloths that are going to look like stepping stones across the thing. And then, as Carla, you had mentioned, I think, doing the.
Like the different lands, like Candyland.
This land, those are the things we need to talk about in this one. But, I think that will work between these two companies. $3, $16, I don't know, just to make sure when we get them, that they're the fit the 30.
Yeah. I didn't, because I know we had discussed putting a workshop on maybe before this one, but just because of spooky and dueling, I figured we can just wait it out a minute. We also, Chris went and pretty much wiped clean the Hobby Lobby of all of those big candy pieces, so we've got all those. And then, but when I send out the next round of things with the information and stuff, when I touch base, we can plan a workshop to specifically go through just.
Chris, in your trials, because I look back at that one picture, you know, we talked about the big balls, if there's styrofoam that had the cellophane that made them look like, if you guys can find them, or if there's, I think you can do blow up ones, see which one's cheap.
I was gonna say, we can just get like blow those big inflatable balls and cellophane and kind of do it.
Yes, if you.
Yes.
You take a pulley with
Yeah.
breadcrumb in it and then wrap it to
Mhm.
make it look like a swirl.
Yeah.
candy and then put it in the cellophane and it's like,
Yes.
Oh, you mean like cinnamon roll wrap?
yeah.
So
well,
it's
Yeah, you
like
make it
that.
like a slide. You hold it, you have to like clamp it.
Mhm.
So how many of those can you make?
Huh?
How many of those can you make?
Yeah, can you bring show and tell?
It's on the first, it's seven.
Yeah, but if you have a show and tell. We have- All right, anything else? Man, great stuff. Good work behind the scenes. And Marco, thank you for being here and giving your 2 cents thoughts on that. And we'll talk more on that going forward. We have plenty of time, but, again, it's nice to come up with something different for the 30/30.
Yes, and Jim, thank you as well.
Thank you for being here. I know you attend a lot of meetings.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to participate.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
You're
Amy's
welcome.
going. Anything else? Okay, then meeting is
Go on.